must go on.
Anna came and picked Libby up, and they went to the park to practice softball. So Anna had them in the afternoon on Sunday, and then she dropped them both off here.
I seem to recognize your face, haunting, familiar, yeah. I can't seem to place it. Cannot find the candle of thought to light your name. Lifetimes are catching up with me. All these changes take place. I wish I'd seen the place, but no one's ever taken me. Hearts and thoughts, they fade away. Hearts and thoughts, they fade away. I swear I recognize your breath. Memories like fingerprints are slowly erasing. Me you wouldn't recall, or I'm not my father. It's hard when you're stuck up on the shelf. I changed by not changing at all. Small town predicts my fate. Perhaps that's what no one wants to see. I just wanna scream hello. My God, it's been so long. Never dreamed you'd return, but now here you are, and here I am. My hearts and thoughts, they fade away. 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 Hearts and thoughts, they
spent a lot of time together. I had the pleasure to watch them practice that afternoon before dropping them off for their latest art project at Mike and Becky's. And very special time. Those girls had a lot of special times together that we'll probably not even know all about. Their special secrets and their thoughts and things like that. But they had a good time.
Those are her paintings. That's what her and Abby did. Abby would come over and bring all of her paints. That's what they had started that night.
They spent a lot of time together. I had the pleasure to watch them practice that afternoon before dropping.
Started that night.
I had the pleasure to watch them practice that afternoon.
Started that night.
County girls have gone missing near the Monon High Bridge Trail in Delphi. News 18's Alexis Moberger joins us live and reports how several law enforcement agencies are looking for them. Alexis.
Brittany, the two 13-year-old girls went missing hours ago and were told they haven't been answering their phones ever since. The Carroll County Sheriff's Office say the girls were last seen around 1 o'clock this afternoon near the Monon High Bridge Trail. Liberty, or Libby German, and Abigail Williams were dropped off by a family member. When she came back to pick them up around the arranged time, they never showed up. The Sheriff's Office was then notified around 5:30 tonight. And right now, several deputies are out looking for the two girls and are even using drones to help locate them. We're also told that DNR is out by the water searching and trying to locate the girls as well. Police are asking for the public's help. If anyone knows anything about where they could be or where they were last seen, they are encouraged to contact the Carroll County Sheriff's Office. We will be following this story and will bring you updates as they become available. Reporting live in Carroll County, Alexis Moberger, News 18.
We talked to a member about what they think.
I see it's a small community that everybody pulls together. It's really heart-wrenching, you know what I mean, to see that. It's very touching, very moving.
You have trouble looking over there?
Yes, I do.
Because?
It's a rough time right now I'm going through.
Our hearts go out to the families as this search continues there in Carroll County. We're covering this story on WTHR.com. We've got a lot of information there. You can see pictures of the girls, the search area, all on WTHR.com. And of course, our coverage continues throughout the day on our website.
News from Channel 13 Eyewitness News.
And we're going to look at weather and traffic for you in a moment. But first, we do want to get to that breaking news from overnight. A desperate search to find two young teenage girls reported missing.
Two Indiana families filled with uncertainty this morning. Our Naomi Peskovitz is in Delphi right now, where volunteers searched, Naomi, really late into the night trying to track down these girls. What's the latest on the situation there?
Yeah, and Ben and Julia, we've seen people walking into this trail over the last hour or so, volunteers who don't even know the family. Also online, folks are saying they are still out searching, even though it's dark, it's early in the morning, and the official crews, law enforcement, they have stopped their search for the evening, and they'll continue when the sun comes up. Meantime, we want to give you another good look at what these two girls look like. Both of them are 13 years old. They're both 5'4". Libby, or Liberty German, she has short, shoulder-length blonde hair and blue eyes. She was wearing a tie-dyed shirt and black shoes. Abby has medium-length blonde hair and hazel eyes, wearing a gray zip-up sweatshirt and jeans. Folks asking, why were these girls on the trail yesterday? Well, they had the day off from school, so they decided they want to come out to this trail here, take some pictures, have some fun together, goof off a little bit. They were dropped off by a family member. They had a time and a place to be picked up, but when that family member got here, they were not here. They were not answering their phones. They weren't answering any text messages. We did speak with Libby's grandfather earlier this morning, asking him if it was common for his granddaughter to do something like this. Listen to what he said.
Because we got a lot of people putting, they're putting their lives on the line really out there. There's some pretty rugged trails in some of this. No, absolutely not. I don't want to say she's a perfect angel, but she's really a good homebody kid, very, straight A kid, straight A student. She's involved in a lot of things, sports, swimming, softball.
And there aren't any lights out there on the trail, but they were near a bridge, and that's where they were taking those pictures. That bridge may not be very sturdy, but even this morning we're seeing some flashlights off in the distance as folks continue that search. Some of those volunteers out here very early into this morning. Meantime, you brought up the question about an Amber Alert. We do want to address that. Carroll County saying they do not believe there was any foul play. They don't have any reason to believe these girls are in immediate danger. And when an Amber Alert is issued, it's because there's been a confirmed abduction. That's why they have not issued one, but they'll be back out here this morning. We'll continue to ask questions and see if they've learned anything else. The best thing folks at home can do, and this is a request from the family as well, is to keep sharing these pictures of Libby and Abby, so that if anyone has seen them, maybe they've wandered off onto another part of the county, they can find them and call Carroll County Police. Ben and Julia?
Yeah, very good to know. That's the age of social media. Can certainly be a big help, especially when the sun rises too. Might help in that search. Naomi Peskovitz, live for us in Delphi. Thank you.
This morning, happening right now in Carroll County, the sheriff's office and community members continue to look for two missing girls last seen near the Monon High Bridge Trail in Delphi. News 18's Alexis Moberger reports how many have spent hours searching, and they say they will not stop looking until the girls are found.
We're just praying for their safety, friends.
13-year-olds Liberty German and Abigail Williams went missing Monday. The girls were last seen near an abandoned railroad bridge known as the Monon High Bridge around 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
A little upset, confused, obviously very distraught. Just worried. All I want to do is have the girls get home safe.
The girls were dropped off near the bridge to walk around and hang out. They had made arrangements to be picked up by a family member later in the afternoon. But when it came time for the girls to be picked up, they never showed up.
Getting scared now.
Abigail's mom, Anna Williams, has spent hours worrying, just hoping to hear her little girl is okay.
It's getting cold. Been out a long time. They don't know what time they ate last.
The girls haven't answered their phones since around the time they went missing.
Missing, abducted, we don't know for sure. Cell phone has been pinging around town here. There's a cell phone tower, but the ping was last noted about 5 or 6 hours ago. They say the phone's now dead.
The last Snapchat from one of the girls was from 2:07.
Text, I saw a text where they got delivered, but they never got read.
Very scary situation right now, and I just want her home.
Now many are on an extensive search to find them.
Ravines, ditches, trash cans for phones, any sign of the girls, and anything we can find to find them.
Deputies, firefighters, and local police are checking every crevice and nook.
Looking for answers, looking for the girls.
But so are others from the community. And many of them say they won't stop looking, even if it takes
Daybreak, fall over with exhaustion. Honestly, I hope they're just hidden up somewhere, scared to be in trouble.
Alexis Moberger, News 18.
Here they are. Police say Liberty German is 5'4", has a heavy build with blonde shoulder-length hair and blue eyes. She was last seen wearing a tie-dyed shirt, gray sweats, and black Nike shoes. Abby is 5'4", small build with medium-length blonde hair and hazel eyes. Abby was wearing a gray zip-up sweatshirt with a burgundy t-shirt underneath and blue jeans. We will certainly...
Carrie, would you be okay with telling us about February 13th, 2017, prior to the girls going missing? Did anything seem out of the ordinary?
Nothing out of the ordinary other than, that morning I had sent her and her sister Snapchats, good morning, have a good day kind of thing. And on my way to work, Libby had Snapchatted me back and said, well, she sent me a picture and she was still laying in bed. And I was like, what are you still doing in bed? It's like 9:30. And she reminded me again that she had the day off school and that she was just kind of hanging out, not really doing a whole lot. And I went on to work. We kind of snapped back and forth, messaged back and forth a little bit that morning while I was at work. But it was just a normal day. There was nothing seemed odd until Kelsey messaged me around the time I was about to get off work. And considering that she didn't normally just text me like that, or she called me actually, and I sent her to voicemail because I was still at work, but I texted her immediately, hey, I'm about to get off work, I'll call you. And she said, call me right now, it's an emergency.
I was at work when Kelsey called me. So I clocked out, went outside, and at first I laughed because she asked me, Mom, have you seen Libby? I'm like, ha ha, I haven't seen her. I'm 250 miles away, I'm at work.
Carrie Timmons is the mother of Kelsey and Libby. Due to a bit of a complex family dynamic, Carrie was living and working near Lexington, Kentucky at the time. Kelsey shared the upsetting news with her mother.
She said, well, we can't find her. What do you mean you can't find her? That doesn't even make sense. This isn't funny. I mean, she didn't run away. Libby was not the type to want anybody to worry, so I knew she didn't just run off. Everybody thought that the girls were hanging out with friends, partying, met some boys, had all these different excuses. And in the back of my mind, I kept saying that, that's not true. Libby would never do anything like this.
Carrie, would you be okay with telling us about February 13th, 2017, prior to the girls going missing? Did anything seem out of the ordinary?
Nothing out of the ordinary other than, that morning I had sent her and her sister Snapchats, good morning, have a good day kind of thing. And on my way to work, Libby had Snapchatted me back. And
Monday, the girls were last seen near an abandoned railroad bridge known as the Monon High Bridge around 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay, welcome everyone, and thank you for indulging me in that introduction. And I would like to thank Papa's channel for putting that together. There's a lot there. I suggest you watch it over on the replay or go ahead and visit his channel and take it in whole. I'll be linking the in the description of the video a link on over to that entire video for you to check out for yourself. So thank you guys. Well, so let's say hello to everyone before we get started because we have a lot to do. But welcome on everyone, and especially, let's see if I can grab you guys real quick. Margaret, Carol, Lisa, Nancy, It's a New Day, Kay, Carol, Sunflower Soul, RC99, Nobody Nothing, Sherlock Rome's Digital, Mar R, Jay Marsh, Aaron Town, ACV, Jane Penny, David Rogers, Francis, Nancy Drew, Sunflower Soul, Mary Goff, Crystal Blue, Amy Dunn, Ladybug, Veronica, Hiawatha, Rock Crusher, Captain Underpants, Augie, Denise, Carla, Bill, and anyone else who may come in. Welcome to you. As people come in, please welcome them to the chat. And if you're in the Lurker crew, please go ahead and join the chat. Today, I really need you. More than possibly any other show I've done, I need you in the chat today to help me out here. We're going to go through things for which very little information exists. So I'm going to be asking you to add your knowledge and help me with the stream. Let's collectively put our knowledge together and do a better stream than I can possibly do alone. So please help me out as we get going with anything you may have to add. Now let's see. Michelle, welcome in. David Rogers, welcome in. True Grit, welcome in. Carol, welcome in. Okay, so anybody who has knowledge of this, let's help out today. Now, so today we are beginning a series on the timeline. Okay, the timeline for the Delphi's fictional narrative scenario. And what we're going to do is be taking a look at the timeline the next few days. However, today is our prelude, so to speak. We're going to be talking about things that occurred before the timeline, okay? So in other words, we're going to be bookending this series with a prelude and a finale. Prelude here is going to be our bookend of everything that transpired on up to the drop-off, alleged drop-off. And so today we'll be covering everything reasonable to discuss prior to the drop-off, alleged drop-off. And I will therefore need your help because, as you know, there are many conflicting statements, times, and scenarios regarding this prelude to the alleged drop-off. And as you could tell in I Have Hypothesis video, it's little information, it's conflicting and difficult. That's why including that particular video was essential, and we'll be getting into that. So let's get started with our presentation. Welcome, Rebecca, and everyone who's coming in. If you're in the Lurker crew, please join the chat. It's helpful for you to join the chat. Like I said, I will need the chat's assistance today. Welcome, Kayla. All right, I will need your assistance because we're going to be trying to hit on all points. Now, I guess that gets us right on diving head on first into it. So let's pull this up. Okay. The Big Lebowski. As you see, I've annotated this particular Wikipedia article with some interesting points here. The Big Lebowski is a 1998 independent crime comedy film produced and directed by Joel and Ethan Coen. It stars Jeff Bridges as Jeffrey the Dude Lebowski, a Los Angeles slacker and avid bowler. He is assaulted as a result of mistaken identity, and then learns that a millionaire also named Jeffrey Lebowski, David Huddleston, was the intended victim. The millionaire Lebowski's trophy wife is kidnapped, and millionaire Lebowski commissions the dude to deliver the ransom to secure her release. The plan goes awry when the dude's friend, Walter Sobchak, John Goodman, which is a Masonic name, schemes to keep the ransom money for the dude and himself. Sam Elliott, Julian Moore, Steve Buscemi, John Turturro, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Tara Reid, David Thewlis, Peter Stormare, John Polito, and Ben Gazzara also appear in supporting roles. The film is loosely inspired by the work of Raymond Chandler. Joe Cohen stated, "We wanted to do a Chandler kind of story, how it moves episodically and deals with the characters trying to unravel a mystery, as well as having a hopelessly complex plot that's ultimately unimportant." And I'll leave it at that. Okay? So that's our introduction. Here's a YouTuber who explores the Delphi trails by the name of Jeff Lebowski 4182. Joined March 29th, 2021. Welcome Lena and Ding Dong and Tara and Bobby Smith. And anyone else coming in, welcome to you. Amy, thank you and welcome. All right, so welcome everyone. I'm going to continue. All right. Here we have a very, 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 very important slide. Very interesting from the Eye of Apophis. It's called Fake Timeline, Real Timeline. Observations, the cult. A gathering happened behind the Morning Heights Cemetery, February 12th to 13th, that was attended by a group of approximately 15 people. These are the murderers, ladies and gentlemen, in my humble opinion. In my absolute bonkers conspiracy theory, these are your murderers. Fake timeline. Real timeline. 8:45 p.m. to 6 a.m., which is the night of the 12th, from dark until sunrise on the 13th. Please be aware that the time 2:13 a.m. occurs during this time frame. I'd like to draw your attention to the concept of a pig roast. Wasn't there a party at the property? Not sure if I'm imagining it, but was there something mentioned about a party at Logan's around the time? And for some reason, I'm thinking there was a hog roast. My memory bank is full, so could be wrong. If it did happen, I wonder who attended. And did the party have a purpose? He has a lot of space, plenty of places to hide. The 12th into the early morning on the 13th. Could you imagine these poor girls having their typical tweenie bopper type crushes and even fighting over a catfish pedo fake profile who then turns out to be a possible serial killer or leads them directly to one? The whole thing is the stuff nightmares are made of. February 3rd, 2017 begins our prelude to the timeline. Libby sleepover with a friend. She's introduced to Anthony Schatz. This is Kyla Brummett. We'll be looking back at her in a moment. As I understand it, Libby was at a friend's sleepover 2/2/17 before the girls were murdered. At the sleepover, the girls communicated with Anthony_Schatz. After the sleepover, Libby did a factory reset of her phone. Then the night before the murder, February 12, Abby and Libby had a sleepover at the German home, and Kelsey was there as well. February 7th, 2017. Sometime during this weekend, Libby reset the phone to factory settings on, which caused her to lose contacts and photos. February 10, 2017. No school. Libby went shopping with Becky to get new green shoes and welding shoes. Spent night with Tara. February 11th, 2017. Abby's grandfather, Cliff Williams from Michigan, visited for the weekend and she stayed with him. Best Western Plus, Brandywine Inn and Suites. Cliff and Abby practiced softball in the parking lot of the establishment. There's a photograph. Allegedly, Libby, Chase, Kelsey, and Hannah went to go geocaching on the trails around Eller's Pond. The girls never made it home the night of the 12th. On the 12th, Kelsey allegedly picked up Libby and spent the day together and night. Libby posted on Instagram that she didn't have pics on phone because she had to do a factory resetting the weekend before. Remember this one? February 13. This is where the charade begins, in my humble opinion, ladies and gentlemen. I believe this is where everything becomes theater. What if the night of the 12th, all hell broke loose? It would make everything on the 13th and afterwards a complete fantasy, a fictional narrative scenario, a script, a LARPing, a piece of real life theater that will chill you to the bone. Such as Libby and Abby posting funny musically videos at 3 a.m. Are those able to be uploaded if they're pre-recorded? Someone tell me about that app. I've never used the app. If this is true, then the girls don't wake up at 9:30. Libby does not send a Snapchat to her mother. Kelsey does not go into their room to tell them they're playing music too loud. They don't have banana pancakes. Let's just put that to the side for now and continue on. Let's explore around the night of the 12th as a central point. February 10th, school's out, built-in snow day. Libby spends day with Becky working, taking pictures at property. They go buy shoes. Mike picks up a welding mask. They go to Tara's, then a baseball game and a movie. Spending the night at Tara's all sounds all normal, sounds nice, sounds plausible. Saturday, February 11th. Anna's dad, Abby's grandpa, Clifton Williams from Grand Rapids, Michigan, visited for the weekend. Sounds nice. Sounds natural. Sounds normal. They spent time together, and he also purchased her softball equipment. Abby stayed with her grandfather at the local hotel, as they usually do, practicing softball in the parking lot area of the hotel, and there's photographs to prove it. Sounds nice, normal, natural, believable, with evidence that does not raise suspicions. Allegedly, again, Kelsey, Chase, Libby, Hannah went geocaching on the trails around Delphi at Eller's Pond and Adams Mill. Libby stayed the night at her friend Allison's house. Morning, February 12th, 2017. Allegedly, Kelsey picked up Libby from a sleepover at Allison's. Sounds believable. Sounds natural. Sounds true. Sounds nice. (1:30) or 2 p.m. Anna, her dad Cliff, and Abby picked up Libby and went to practice softball at a local park. Now the glitches start, ladies and gentlemen. The glitches begin. The story begins to glitch in the afternoon of the 12th. Now, you may remember, let's bring this back up momentarily.
Afternoon, before drop started that night. I had the pleasure to watch them practice that afternoon. It started that night.
We've got different stories. Where did this take place?
paintings. That's what her and Abby did. Abby would come over and bring all of her paints. That's what they had started that night.
They spent a lot of time together. I had the pleasure
Sorry, I lost my spot here.
before dropping them off for their latest art project.
Sorry, here we go. See if this is it.
And thoughts they fade away. Hearts and thoughts
They spent a lot of time together.
All right. So the story goes, Abby decided to stay the night at Libby's house. Anna took the girls to her house where she and Abby lived with her mother and stepfather Erskine to pick Abby's paint supplies and personal belongings up for a sleepover at Libby's house. At 6:30 p.m., allegedly, Anna drops off the girls at Libby's with Becky, Mike, Derek living in the home. The girls allegedly spend the evening hanging out in Libby's room, eating pizza, watching movies with Kelsey, and making videos. Musicali video posted around 3 a.m. Question: is it possible to pre-record a video and upload it to Musicali? Remember that I said this is where the theater begins. This is where the LARPing starts. Does Anna drop off the girls at Libby's house with paint supplies? Do the girls spend the evening hanging out in Libby's room, eating pizza, watching movies with Kelsey and making videos? Do the girls post a live Musicali video at 3 a.m.? Or did they have a video pre-recorded on the phone from prior? And did someone upload a pre-recorded video at 3 a.m.? No one sees the girls after this alleged drop-off at 6:30 p.m. right here in the middle of your screen. Anyone could have messaged friend Erica Gibson, who just so happens to be the person who allegedly took the screenshot of the Snapchat that does not exist on our victim's phone of a curiously photoshopped looking image of Abby on the bridge, which would be the only thing that places them at that place and time. Carrie said on her way to work that Libby Snapchat her, but what she didn't clarify until years later was that it was messaging, not a face. So, a question for you skeptics out there. You logical, sober skeptics. Could the messaging to Erica Gibson have been someone other than the victims? Could the messaging to Libby's mother have been someone other than Libby? Because anybody can send a text from your phone if they have your phone, correct? Even more so, anyone can send a message from your accounts if they have your logins, correct? As I said, here on this page, right here, this right here, there's absolutely no verification of any of it. Your play has already started. Kelsey said they told her they were up all night. She told them they were listening to music too loud. She said, go downstairs, eat banana pancakes. Becky said they slept in. Derek made them pancakes. Derek runs for errands to take pictures. Kelsey's in the bathroom getting ready to go to friends. Kelsey said Libby begged, oh, please, please, please take us to the trails. Begged, please take us to the trails. Kelsey told them she had plans, but would drop them off if Libby found a ride home. 12:30, here we go again with the mysterious texting. Abby texting Anna to ask if she could stay at Libby's for dinner. Really? Really? Because anyone can grab your phone or log into your accounts and text your mother. Abby allegedly asks Anna to stay for dinner. Planned to attend a game. Planned to pick up money, however, did not do so. Anna gave permission to this mysterious person on the other end of the text messaging. Allegedly, Becky and Tara are working in the home office, and the girls are filing to earn extra money. You think that ever happened? Once again, the allegation is made that Abby and Libby overheard the conversation and begged and asked to be dropped off at the bridge. Although plans to be dropped off was discussed prior between the three girls in the morning when they had banana pancakes. Becky reluctantly agrees to allow the girls to go to the bridge if Anna approved and if they had a ride home. So Becky alleges that Libby calls, she thought, Derek to secure a ride home. He said he would pick him up when he was done in Frankfurt running errands for Becky approximately an hour and a half later. Here we have more needless narrative points. Becky insists, due to cold weather, Libby take a jacket, to which Libby refused, as she didn't feel she needed it. Abby agreed to take one belonging to Kelsey or Libby. Gray zip hoodie. Allegedly, 1:30 p.m., Kelsey, Libby, and Abby leaves the house. Allegedly, 1:30 to 1:38, they're driving to the High Bridge. Derek alleges Libby called him to secure a ride home in the vehicle on the way to the trails. Said the cell phone record showed the time of the call from Libby was 1:38. Interesting statement here. Interesting. That's what I would be assuming, that the videos were already existent and were uploaded at 3 a.m. to provide more proof of life, just like the Snapchat mysteriously got uploaded from a phone that was not with the victims, to provide proof of life and place. Kelsey said she was talking to her boyfriend when dropping off. Records indicate her boyfriend called at 1:38. Wow, we have a lot of records of 1:38. Why are we trying to lock in a time of 1:38? Have you thought about that? Kelsey calls boyfriend 1:38. Libby allegedly calls Derek 1:38. Well, do you remember for the longest that the story was they arrived at 1:35? We arrived at 1:35. However, things get weird. Derek German leaves to run errands for Becky at 1 p.m. The Logan sworn affidavit written by special agent with the FBI states that Libby and Abby were dropped off at the trails at approximately 1 p.m. It's believed the girls were dropped off at the Mears lot. Small parking area and trailhead is not the Mears family's property. It's across the street from the Mears property, so it's referenced as Mears lot locally. Libby called her father, Derek German, for a ride home from the trails, allegedly. He said he would pick them up in approximately an hour to an hour and a half, allegedly. The time was confirmed by his cell records, allegedly. Kelsey reported talking to her boyfriend when dropping off the girls, allegedly. Kelsey's cell phone records indicate her boyfriend called at 1:38 p.m. On February 13th at approximately 1 p.m. Juvenile victims, hereafter referred to as LG and AW, were taken to the Monon High Bridge Trail, allegedly, located in Delphi, Indiana. It is believed that LG and AW were walking the trail in the area of County Road 300 North and 575, near Logan's property, Creekside, at approximately 2:13 p.m. How is this validated or verified by the FBI? Was it due to tracking cell phone of the victim? This is what we know. No one witnessed the victims. Allow me to read for you a little something. Whoops. Betsy Blair advised that approximately halfway between the bridge and the parking area across from Mears Farm, she passed two girls walking toward Monon High Bridge. She advised she believed the girls were victim one and victim two. Betsy advised she finished her walk and saw no other adults other than the male on the bridge. Investigators believe victim one and victim two, again, the word believe. Investigators believe victim one and two were dropped off across from the Mears farm. Suddenly, it's now 1:49 p.m. Huh. Well, approximately 1 p.m., juvenile victims. Approximately 1:49 p.m. Still not making sense. Why does the time change from 1 p.m. to 1:35 or 1:38 p.m. to 1:49 p.m.? Question. Have you ever sat in the waiting room of a dentist office for, say, 49 minutes? Would you say that 49 minutes is a long interval of time or a brief interval of time? I mean, I'm just asking because we are dealing with law enforcement, are we not? Federal, state, local, all federal agencies at our disposal, according to Douglas Carter. All federal agencies at our disposal, and we can't decide on a specific time. It's 1:38, 1:49. So we're trying to establish a bookend to our prelude, and we can't even do that. We can't even do it. We don't know whether our bookend stops at 1 p.m., 1:38 p.m., or 1:49 p.m. Shit, it's probably best that we just say in the 1 o'clock hour at some point. All federal agencies, and we cannot establish whether we're talking about 1 o'clock, 1:30, or 1:49. Interesting. So was there a drop-off? Was there a drop-off, or was there not a drop-off? Well, if the entire LARPing started at 2 a.m. on the 13th, that's 11 hours prior to 1 p.m. Did this entire scenario take place 12 hours earlier than we've all been led to believe? Kind of looks like it did. If this entire scenario took place 12 hours earlier, you could keep all the times the same and not cause conflicts, except that all the times would be 12 hours earlier.
all. So Tina Rodell, you know, her daughter was out there. Megan was out there at the trail with Keegan Calais and Tyler French on the 12th into the 13th before the girls died. So a lot of people know this on Facebook. A lot of people in this case know that, you know, Tina was talking to her daughter. Her daughter put out messages to her mom, help, help, come pick me up, help, help. Tina thought it was at 2 o'clock that afternoon, which was I said, Tina, it's 02:03. I said, that's in the wee hours of the morning. So I'm looking at your date on your phone, and it's February 13th, you know, 02:03. I said, that's in the morning. And then they come to find out. Then I talked to Steve Mullen. He called me. He wanted me to take Tina Rodell in because he said he talked to the 3 kids, Tyler, Keegan, and Megan. They were out there. They were at Tyler French's stepdad's house, which was about a mile and a half down the road from the Moment High Bridge. Then he was renting a house down this long lane. It was weird because I drove down there one time and I was like just taking video.
So what happened to Megan Allen at 2:03 a.m. on the 13th at the High Bridge in the woods? Oh, wow, look, we have a weaver. We have a weaver rumored to have been at the trails. Keegan. Another Keegan. Why are there always 2 of everything? Christy Lynn Martin. It gets worse. Hold on, Julie. What did he say that? When was he text at 2 in the morning by Libby?
Yeah. Well, he was actually away, and they were doing a Snapchat.
Wait. Hold on. I'm sorry. Hold on. I'm trying to. Okay. He was text to come out to the bridge on what date? On what date at what time?
Okay. So if 2 in the morning, it was February 13th. So it was at least 12. It was 12, approximately a little less than 12 hours ahead of time.
So that they were texting him. Come. Was it just Libby or both Libby and Abby? Who was
Libby and Abby? Both the girls.
Were Libby and Abby texting Max to come out to the bridge at the same time that Megan Allen was texting Tina to come and save her at the bridge? At 2 a.m. on the 13th?
Girls. He said both of the girls. Yeah, they said.
Let me let you tell that part over because I keep interrupting, but because I was a little confused about that. Who was texting at what time and when and where?
They were doing Snapchat to Max. Come on, Max. And he said, they kept saying, come on, Max, you need to come out to the bridge. Come with us. Come meet with us. And he's like, oh, you guys.
So that.
He's.
All we're doing is asking questions about what happened during the sleepover. Was the hog roast, the pig roast, the gathering attended by Libby and Abby? Did Michaela bring those girls to Ron Logan's at 2 a.m. on the 13th? Did something happen to those girls out there 12 hours before we were told? What's the truth in the timeline? I got this info in two places. First, the MSP, and second, over the Delphi docs as a poster knew about the issue Libby had with her friend a week before. It's been brought up on several threads, and that's how Libby first met the Anthony Shots account through her. He originally was catfishing her friend at the party. She and another friend that Libby was telling about this cute guy, or who spoke to the police, but the first girl was the first to go to the police. All you know is bullshit. It's all bullshit. At one point in the fairy tale, Kelsey, Chase, Hannah, and Libby went geocaching at the trails by Delphi, Eller's Pond, and Adams Mill. Then Kelsey dropped off Libby at Allison's for a sleepover Sunday morning. Kelsey picked up Libby by Allison's house. Now the fairy tale continues, with Anna, Cliff, and Abby driving to pick up Libby at the Patties to play ball at 1:30. Mike Patty said when he made his first public appearance that the girls played ball in his front yard before Anna took them to the park. Then the story changes once again, and Anna took the girls back to her house to pick up art supplies and stuff because Abby, wanted to stay the night at the Patties, and she went back to her home and get Abby's belonging in a paint set. Here is where Taras said that the Saturday before, Libby slept at Allison's house. Allison's last name is Penn Jones, Allison Penn Jones. A mother at the time lived in Lafayette, so that's a stretch in itself because Libby was all over the place that weekend. But she was a homebody? What? In this video, Becky does not remember what Abby did that weekend and has to ask Tara to bail her out. Also, the Friday before, Becky said there was no school and she took Libby with her to do appraisals and for welding shoes. Also, in a written timeline given to Katie Roby years back, Becky and Tara said that the Friday before that Libby went with Becky for welding shoes. No mention of appraisals. And that day, Mike went to purchase Libby a welding mask. Becky is over-explaining again. There has been no proof of life from the 10th on. Delphi murders transcripts. Suspect said he knew Libby German was at Sleepover the night before her murder. Newly obtained transcripts were released shortly after the 5th anniversary of the deaths of Abby Williams and Liberty German, the two young girls who were murdered in Delphi, Indiana in 2017. According to News Nation, the Murder Sheet podcast obtained transcripts of an interview between a possible suspect, Kagan Klein, and Indiana investigators. Although no arrests have been made in the case, the transcripts detail information that puts the case back in the national spotlight. As Crime Online previously reported, Klein, an Indiana accused of child exploitation and child pornography, says police told him he was the last person to communicate with one of the two girls killed in Delphi, Indiana in 2017. Heavily redacted court documents say that the state police and the FBI encountered Klein in 2017 while conducting a search warrant in Peru, Indiana. That is when they discovered Klein's fake Anthony_Shots profile soliciting minor girls online. A subpoena for an IP address led to another address in Peru, and a second search warrant found Klein and his father there. Klein was arrested in 2020 on charges unrelated to the Delphi murders. He has not been charged in the Delphi case. Kagan Klein used a random stranger's photo to lure in underage girls, allegedly, police say. The recently released interview transcripts happened after Klein was interrogated by an ISP trooper and a sheriff's deputy on August 18, 2020. An officer confronted Klein about knowing that Libby was at a sleepover the night before her disappearance and communicating with her. Police. You had told investigators, And I know you say you don't remember a girl that you ever talked to, but I know you remember Libby German. Klein inaudible. Police right. And you know, you talked to her and you admitted talking to her. Klein, I don't think I ever did, though. I think I talked to one of her friends like I told them. You admitted you talked to her. Inaudible. For a few hours at a sleepover, and then you blocked her because she was annoying you. Remember? You're right, yeah. You remember that? Yeah. A couple pages later. See, I don't remember ever saying to meet up with me, though, Klein responded. Police have said that Anthony _Shots account was the last to communicate with Libby before she died. So let's unpack everything we know about the morning of the murders. We know someone was logging in and out of 2 separate devices. We also know they were logging in and out of the Anthony _Shots Snapchat account. All this activity is taking place at 8 a.m. on February 13 at a house on Canal Street in Peru, Indiana, but it doesn't mean that someone is inside the house. As detectives detail, February 13th, 2017, the day Abby and Libby allegedly went missing, they tell Klein, 8 o'clock in the morning at your house where you and your dad lived, 2 separate devices, see the numbers here, how they're the same? Log in, log out. One device, log in, log out, and all within minutes of each other to the same Anthony Shots Snapchat account. One of the 2 suspects in the murders of Liberty German and Abigail Williams was, quote, logging in and out of the Anthony _Shots Snapchat account that morning of February 13 at 8 a.m. And within approximately 6 hours later, Abby and Libby are forced at gunpoint off the bridge. We don't believe that anymore. Explain how these 2 suspects had nothing to do with Abby and Libby's murders. Tell me how you think it's all one big coincidence. I find it very hard to believe that the last communication Libby had was at 8 a.m. that morning. When they decided to go to the bridge, I'm sure there's some communication there with friends and such, especially considering they were going to meet this rich, cute guy. I'm wondering if the cops meant 8 a.m. IG message. I doubt it was a phone call or even a text. When was the last time Shots profile communicated with Libby? And was it communicating with Libby or was it communicating with Kelsey? These 2 young girls with a significant social network of friends that post status updates and send messages to each other, I highly doubt they went completely dark after 8 a.m. on February 13, 2017 until their deaths. Oh, but it gets better. We can't determine what time the last message was sent based on this information. We just know that 2 devices accessed the account around 8 a.m. On a recent discussion with the prosecutor's podcast, Murder Shits said that law enforcement had recovered of communication between Libby and Anthony _Shots, but not the message content. What a difference recovering that could have made. Very easy to show it's a coincidence. The guy in the video does not look like either one of them. If they were communicating with each other, there would have been some kind of electronic evidence of this. We have not heard anything on that. Nobody said either one of them, the 2 Peru suspects, were the guy in the video. We do know the 2 Peru suspects were the very last to communicate with Libby, or I should say, Libby's account, the day she was murdered, allegedly. We also know that the 2 suspects from Peru were communicating with Libby's account via a fraudulent Snapchat profile, and that Snapchat app, along with all the messages contained therein, was deleted by one of the suspects on February 25th, 2017 at approximately 9 p.m. after that suspect had been dropped back at his home And it is interesting to note that the suspect had just failed a polygraph exam question whereby he was asked if he knew who killed Abby and Libby. Carroll County prosecutor Nick McClelland, who pressed for the records to remain sealed, said there was, quote, good reason to believe Allen is not the only one involved. Fox 59. The old Delphi cemetery. The old Delphi cemetery. Keegan Kline made the statement to ISP Detective Vito and Carroll County prosecutor Nick McClelland that he and his dad drove to the old Delphi cemetery on February 13, 2017. Let's unpack that statement. That was obviously made on August 18, 2022 at the meeting held at Grissom Air Force Base, Miami Correctional Facility in Miami County. First off, why that location for that meeting between Vito McClelland and one of the suspects in the murders of Abby and Libby? I know for a fact that the media was camped out at the Miami County Jail parking lot shortly after the murder shits released their tip about someone at that Canal Street address was looking up at the Delphi Marathon gas station. They also released a tip about someone using that Comcast IP address at that Canal Street address while logging in and out of the Snapchat app on two separate devices. Law enforcement knew someone looked up that gas station less than a mile from Richard Allen's house, and they were switching their Snapchat app from one device to another. We also know for a fact that someone using that Comcast ISP account was the last person to communicate with Libby the day she and Abby were allegedly murdered. Those are significant facts when we look at certain suspects' credibility. We all know he's a liar. Sometimes law enforcement is forced to deal with people who lie. Both Detective Vito and Nick McClelland met with that suspect at a secure location away from the local media's prying eyes. There's no doubt law enforcement purposely tipped the murder shits about that person looking up the Delphi gas station on the morning of the murders. We know Keegan Kline was arrested on August 19, 2020, and he had been sitting quietly, comfortably for 2 years in that Miami County jail. It was time to shake up his little pedopad world. Kelsey German wouldn't confirm it was Bree, but said it was a close friend that, quote, figured out Liberty German's password. She followed up by saying, quote, it wasn't a big deal, and I was able to retrieve the info. What the hell? It's almost laughable, Prof. So many girls, same age, all dolled up, makeup, cheerleaders, etc. Then after the murders, dressed like slobs, many turned gay. Others see the above pics of Kyla. What happened in that town? Also, did you notice Nikki was Rayleigh's attorney? She told a source of mine that she's stressing because they're telling her stuff she doesn't remember saying. What? And we know that her mom was having her look at Facebook pics of POIs. She fingered Jimmy Duvall, Tara German's wife's ex. Brainwashed. Programmed. Interesting that Ellie told Keegan Kline they knew Liberty German was quite enamored with Anthony _ Shots. Kyla knew Keegan Kline and introduced Liberty German to Anthony Shots. We've learned that Kelsey German created a created fake mail accounts that she used to talk to Liberty German with. Sick. I'm assuming Bree was involved since she's Kelsey German's best friend forever, has been for years, and hence Bree, aka Bree Weber, allegedly guessing Liberty German's password and deleting stuff. Why? And why the weird ass mean girl shit? I'll make sure I didn't lose my place. I think I did. Okay, I got these together. Doug Rice talked to the two 16-year-old witnesses several times. He mentions where the white truck originated from. I found all the photos and screenshots. There was a gentleman named Brian Moss who allegedly parked his white truck by Freedom Bridge around 1:30 on the 13th. He was allegedly seen by the 16-year-old right before Bridge Guy heading towards the Mona High Bridge. Brian Moss was one of the people listed in the video that the Inquisitor took down that investigators contacted him about in June of 2022. Brian Moss's connection, I don't know, but I think it's interesting. I've included screenshots so you can read more about it. My buddy saw a white truck at the Freedom Bridge on the 13th around 1:30. This fellow has a white truck. And the deputy told my friend that the white truck belonged to a man with the dog. I also showed this pic to the witness. She was not positive, but thought it was likely him as well. But without talking to him directly, I cannot prove it was him. Just pretty sure it was. At any rate, she saw this man and his dog on the trails shortly before they ran into Bridge Guy. I'm almost certain this is the man with the dog she saw around 1:30. Okay, there's lots of misinformation here. I'll tell you what Doug Rice's version of this was. I have to find screenshots, or I have screenshots from Facebook that I'll try to find and link to later. Disclaimer, I'm not weighing in on one way or the other as to where Doug Rice was correct, just passing on what he said on Facebook years ago. The guy in the picture walked his dog at the trail area frequently, was there the day the girls were there. The 16-year-old girl, who according to Doug was one of the witnesses who saw BG, saw the dog walker near Freedom Bridge. Apparently he parked in the parking lot near there. The 16-year-old saw him heading towards the High Bridge. This was a few minutes before she saw Bridge Guy, as you will recall, was also heading towards the High Bridge. So Bridge Guy would have been on the same trail as the dog walker and possibly had been behind him. It seems quite possible that the dog walker may have seen Bridge Guy when he was heading back to his car, but that's pure speculation. Doug Rice tried to contact Brian Moss, but he was not interested in speaking to anyone. He did speak to police and presumably told them whatever he saw, if he saw anything. Not much else is known about him. Brian Moss talks about hiking the trails with his dog Jesse near the Freedom Bridge Tuesday, February 2017 in Delphi, Indiana. Moss, who is from Lafayette, said the area seemed safe and a good place to hike with his dog. Debbie Lord, National and World News Journal, Constitution, I believe. Now, let's pull this down before I go into this. Hypothetical question here. If the girls were never dropped off, were not on the trails at 1:30 and later, or 1 and later, does it matter who was on the trails at 1 or later? remember, we're trying to establish a bookend for this prelude episode of the timeline, but as with everything in this case, there's so much misinformation that we cannot even establish a bookend. So it's sort of a fuzzy bookend. Let's say the 1 o'clock hour is our bookend. Does it matter who was there in the 1 o'clock hour? Or perhaps what matters more is who was there after the 1 o'clock hour. Why do you say that, Prof? Somebody had to move the bodies. Somebody had to place those bodies where they were found. Someone had to undress the bodies, redress the bodies, put sticks on the bodies, put leaves on the bodies, stage the bodies, pose them, cut the necks on the bodies. It's nearly certain that it would have taken more than one person to move those bodies. So, when we get into our start of the timeline in the 1 o'clock hour, perhaps what we'll have to do is be looking at who was there. And that's what we will be looking at. We will be looking at who was there post 1 p.m. Because one thing's certain, whoever put those girls there, whoever left them like that in those woods, had to be there after 1 p.m. Now, I think that it's important we look at some things before we end the episode. Now, I asked you, did Michaela bring those girls to Ron Logan's 12 hours prior to the alleged drop-off? Wasn't there a party at the property? Wasn't there a party at Logan's? At times called a hog roast, a pig roast, at times called a gathering, at times called a meth party, or cooking meth in the woods. See, down here at the bottom in the pink is your fake timeline. This is your theater. But up here in the yellow, this is our hypothetical real timeline. 8 I'm sorry, 12 hours earlier. $12 is a long time. But we want to ask some questions. If those girls were brought to this pig roast, to this party, to this gathering, to this a bunch of guys cooking meth out there, why was it all family? Let's look at this. Kyle Smith added 2 photos. Did either of these photos come from the victim's phone? Didn't find any leads, says Kyle Smith. No evidence so far, says Kyle Smith. They called off the search for tonight, says Kyle Smith. Spent about 2.5 hours with the Delphi police and fire searching the High Bridge area, says Kyle Smith. Continued search in the morning and all day as far as I'm concerned, says Kyle Smith. Interesting. Who do we have here? Michaela Babcock. At daybreak, I asked Kelsey German to let me know. Kelsey German. All they said was daybreak. I promise I'll be out soon as the sun comes up. Kyle Smith. I'll be out as soon as I get out of court. Interesting here. Who are the 2 others? Who are the 2 tagged in here? Jessica Werner, Michaela Babcock, Cody Patty, Kyle Smith, Jessica Werner, Michaela Babcock, Cody Patty. Distribute the Abby Snapchat Photoshop job to create a media sensation. Nobody thought it was odd to solicit public help locating 2 missing girls without a photo of both girls. Kyle Smith and Michaela Babcock. Jimmy Snowberger, Michaela Hartman, Austin Popejoy, Tyler Popejoy, Blake Saltz, Junior Kennard, Garrett Kenneth Kurtz, Jesse Breer. I don't know how any family could have stopped searching and went home and to sleep. I just don't think I could leave that area at all if I knew that was the last place they were. Yeah, and if those bodies were there, would you not have seen those bodies in broad daylight? Remember, if they started searching at 3:30, sun didn't set till 6:30. 3 hours of daylight. Sun rises at 7:30. They're not found till noon. 5 hours of daylight. Well, not only that, ladies and gentlemen, we know they were found at 9:30. Okay, they're found before 9:30 in the morning. Why the lies? Why the lies? Thank you, ACV. Why the lies? Why the lies around an entire family losing their loved ones? Thank you. It's very kind of you, ACV. Thank you. Would a family lie about a timeline? Would an entire family push a timeline back 12 hours? What if they were dropped off at the trails at 1 a.m.? What if this time should have said a.m., a.m., a.m.? On February 13th, 2017, at approximately 1 a.m., juvenile victims Liberty German and Abby Williams were taken to the Monon High Bridge Trail located in Delphi, Indiana. Liberty and Abigail were walking the trail in the area of County Road 300 North and 575 West near Ron Logan's property. "12 hours makes a hell of a lot of a difference in a double homicide of two young girls. At least I think it does. And what of this group of people? What of this Anthony_shots? What of this sleepover? Why is everyone who ends up at the trails in the circle of family and extended family? It's almost as if the first wave of people to arrive were there to form a perimeter in order to keep everyone outside of the family circle out so that the bodies could be moved. What else are we to conclude? Another question for you. Who was it that allegedly introduced this Anthony shots to our victims? She sure did change after these murders, didn't she? I'm very emotional, said Jessica Babcock. I've known Liberty. I've had the FBI at my house. State police was here today. They're going door to door asking questions. I have 2 young children. Some interesting details about this woman, Jessica, and her family. Jessica filed for divorce from her husband, Dale Babcock Jr., a month after the FBI and ISP visited her house. Dale became engaged to Libby's cousin, Michaela Babcock, 6 months later. They were married after Dale's divorce was finalized. Jessica ended up marrying Michaela's ex, Austin Popejoy, after the divorce from Dale. It's rumored that Dale's sister Harley, odd name, isn't it? Hells Angels or Outlaw? Which are you? Had some sort of relationship with Libby's dad. There were photos of Harley with Libby. Dale, Jessica, Harley, Michaela, and Austin Popejoy were all friends of Garrett Kurtz and DDP. Again, why did the ISP and FBI visit the Babcock household? I have a question about whether or not Ron Logan had guests at his house the weekend before the murders. I don't know if anyone here can answer this. I've heard many, many months ago that Brad Holder and his son had visited Ron Logan on occasion. Anyone know if they knew each other? Heard this rumor too, that Brad Holder was at Ron's that weekend, along with some anonymous family members. It appears they are all acquainted. If their teenage sons were with them, yes, they were. It makes sense that the girls would want to go out to the trails that night, especially since Abby's boyfriend was one of the sons. Reread that. And push it forward 12 hours. Reread it. Push it forward 12 hours. Reread it. They offered Garrett Kurtz a plea deal for 45 years to take a polygraph for the homicide in Delphi of those 2 little girls. And I took a polygraph and I passed it, says Garrett. They said it was deceptive. You don't say. So basically what they did, the prosecutor said, well, you know, since you didn't pass the polygraph, you're going to have to take the 45-year plea off the table. Then my lawyer came to see me about a month ago and told me they wanted me to sign 60 years or go to trial. My lawyer was actually pretty upset with Drinksky, the prosecutor, because he thought it was bullshit. Yeah, because a lot of people think that Curtis Fouts had something to do with those 2 little girls getting killed in Delphi, says Garrett Kurtz. At first, they tried to tell me that Ron Logan made a statement, and they said they were lied to about that. So they even said, like, quote, "We know you didn't do it, but they think that I know something about it, which means if I knew something about it, I'd fucking say it." That's gaslighting, Garrett. The killer may be in this room. Well, I'm in fucking jail, so that throws that out. Well, unless there's 12 to 15 killers, Garrett. Kurt's talking about Michaela. She said that they started counting stab marks so many times. I don't even remember what the fuck she said, but she told me Jimmy Snowberger and all the friends, Nick Beal and everybody that was hanging out with us that night, that's what the fuck happened. Ask me anything. Yes, Greeno was staying with Jeff Reagan, Sr. from February 1st until the murders. Greeno was bestie with Jessica James Babcock Popejoy, Reagan's stepdaughter. Jessica and Michaela, Libby's cousin who took her to agility parties, and Becky, banned Michaela. Michaela traded husband-son after the murders. The only reason I can think of is if they wouldn't be able to testify against their husbands. I hate my phone. I'm sorry I didn't proofread. Michaela was taking Libby to adult drinking and drug parties in December 2016. Becky found out and banned Michaela from contacting Libby. Dale Babcock was one of the first names mentioned right after the murders. His sister is Harley Babcock. Greeno stayed with her on and off over the past 7 years in Logansport. Dale Babcock's nickname is Bubba. He was Libby's babysitter when she was little. She had a crush on him. Anyway, I know so much more and nowhere to send it all. Thank you for sharing. I forgot to tell you this. Jeff Reagan Sr. was Christy Lynn Martin's drug-running partner. That's Tina Rodell's sister. Derek German snitched on them. That was why Christy was in prison and Reagan on house arrest. On December 16, 2017, Reagan got mail that he was to go to court for breaking house arrest at the time of the murders. He booked it out of Delphi. Arrested in March 2017 in Kokomo. 1 year in jail and 1 house arrest. 1 year house arrest. He is running around somewhere free. Sorry to keep sending one after the other. All this was known at the beginning. I have so much more I want to share. Typing it all up for later. After all this time. Holy moly, so much that points to anyone but Richard Allen. Ron Logan, Brad Sandifer, Brad Holder, James David Lucas, Jerome Weiss, Brad Weber, Matt Weber, Eric Alter, Anthony Greeno, Keegan Callis, Tyler French, Dustin Prater, Phil Benson, Megan Allen, the McCain brothers, Jessica Allen, Jeff Reagan Sr., Hutchinson, Lee Horde, Mexican Cartel, Cody Patty, Lesenby, keep it going, gals, Derek German. The ICE comment about the Anthony_Shots model being a friend of Kyle, who supposedly took the screenshot of Libby German's Snapchat of Abby on the bridge. You know, the fake one. It is as if this person has a knack for laying down breadcrumbs on social media. One, the Abby on the bridge photo wasn't found on the phone, so where did it come from? I can answer that. It came from a second phone. Two, Liberty German's friend Erica stated on TV and in the national media that she was the one who took the screenshot. But privately, she was asking who took the screenshot. Was she asked to lie for the TV because she was young and Liberty German's friend? Kyle's February 15 post, number 3. 2 pictures from Liberty German Snapchat at 2:07 p.m. Last thing that was posted by her was then shared by Kagan Klein on the 16th. Keegan being one of the users of the Anthony_Shots account. KG, CE, BW, CW, MB, Kyle, Cheryl, all connected to the Anthony_Shots account. Note that the Abby on the bridge photo is fabricated and the empty bridge photo he shared is from Cheyenne, most likely. 6. Kyle made that post on the 15th when he was with CP, MB, and JW according to Facebook. We just saw that receipt. 7. There is one name connected with all of these people that has not been mentioned on this live stream. Well, it has been. Now, are we going to pretend like he just disappeared or something? 8. The model riding a spin bike during a national media interview screams distancing and downplay. 9. Someone a lot smarter than me states they figured out that Kyle flew to Alaska on the same flight as the model. If the text messages started or stopped at 2:13 or 2:14 a.m. to max, then the girls' accounts were already in play. The repetition of the number 213 specifically was part of the ritual. I'm sure you already know the 213 number of recurrences in this crime. The BG video started at 2:13, ending in 2:14. That's a plant. Yes, and the dates in play are 2:13 and 2:14. And the ages are 2 kids, 113, 114. The girls may have gone in on the 12th in the PM. Liberty's blood around her neck is the outline of a loose shirt, not a crew neck shirt. It may be actually the outlines of pajamas. Anna says in an interview that her daughter's clothes were washed at the Patty's house. That is what law enforcement FBI told her. Obviously, according to the Bolo, Kelsey wasn't wearing the clothes Abby was found in. That's a typo. That should say Libby wasn't wearing the clothes that Abby was ultimately found in. Well, do you remember? For years, we knew that the Bolo was a certain outfit until the crime scene photos miraculously, mysteriously, unexpectedly, and magically leaked. Then we see that Abby is dressed in clothes that Libby was never described as wearing. Only the family could have provided that clothing to the killer. The outlaws were moving in. Obviously, the Hells Angels controlled the area. Remember the name of the motorcycle ride? Libby and Abby Angel Ride 2017? They were called Angels because of the Hells Angels. The motorcycle ride was considered a final ride in the motorcycle world that is done for a funeral of a motorcycle club member's death. That is why most people didn't understand it. It seemed weird, but that is motorcycle culture. The Sons of Odin are a supporter club for the Hells Angels, and this is personally verified. The only people who said the girls were at the bridge on the 13th are the Patties and Germans. Betsy Blair said she saw 2 girls. She didn't actually say that she saw Libby and Abby. This is confirmed by a local who, in my opinion, would know for sure. It is in my opinion that the girls were supposed to be found kidnapped earlier than 3:15. There was a phone call at the Myers. I might have heard the name wrong. It was done on a landline to contact Lesenby. That is why the meeting ended at 2:30. Tina Allen saw Lesenby at the trails around that time. Liberty was chosen. The Anthony Shots profile contacted mid-December. Logan Holder, the honeypot, started dating Abby around beginning mid-December. I'm sure you know all of this shit, but this is what I know, have heard. So, ladies and gentlemen, what happened? What happened and when did it happen? Where did it happen? Sorry about that. You see, you cannot question what's going on in this courtroom without first questioning what's going on with this family. You see, there's only two victims here, and it's Libby and Abby. So the question remains, what happened to those victims? Who speaks for those victims? And why has there not been enough truth around this circumstance? Why are there two of everything? Why are there two of everyone? The two bridges, two buildings, two girls, two families, two Keegans, two of everyone and everything. I think it's intentional. It obfuscates what really is. There's two sleepovers. So we can't even talk about the sleepover because there's another one. This episode I titled The Sleepover, well aware of the fact that we're really talking about two sleepovers. Timelines in the Delphi murders fictional narrative scenario. It's a mouthful. Because you see, I've said before, without a timeline, you don't have a crime line. Without having an absolute, solid, verified, forensically established timeline, there's absolutely no way you can lock down a crime line. That is why the Delphi murders is a fictional narrative scenario. At least that which the family and law enforcement has provided. Therefore, you can't really ask questions about what's going on in the courtroom, because all that's going on in the courtroom is an extension of what's going on or what has gone on in the real world. So look at what's going on in the courtroom as a symptom of the disease. It's a result of what's gone on since before day one, in my opinion. And it's really sad. It's really sad that all of this over 2 slaughtered little girls who didn't deserve it. So you got to ask yourself, as this falls apart, are we going to see sunlight break through the clouds? Is this the crack in the dam that we've been waiting for? I truly think that it is. I really do, and which is why I'm optimistic. I said earlier that it's sort of like a birth process. It's ugly, it's difficult, it's somewhat traumatizing. But look at what comes of it. And I think that's what we're looking at here. It's going to be ugly. It is ugly. But we'll get through it. And maybe justice will be birthed for these 2 girls. They are only served by the truth rising to the surface. And nothing else. And that's why I've always said that that's true justice for the girls. The only 2 victims in this case. So I think that about covers the timelines in the Delphi murders fictional narrative scenario, Prelude to Sleepover. And I think that now we can get started with taking a look at the alleged timeline. So we'll do that next time we meet. But I'd like to thank everyone for being here. Let's see. Thank you very much. I just saw that Karen Jones. Thank you very much for the super sticker, Karen Jones. Thank you. That's amazing. Thank you. And Kathy, thank you very much for the super sticker, Kathy. Okay, let me go back and look at some of your comments. Captain America, welcome in, says, why not more definitive answers? Ashley Nudo, what's up, says, my gosh, I'm forever grateful for all who brought this to light, even while enduring the flames of hell from those who took more lives. Duality to add to confusion. 2 McCains. Yes, 2 of everything. I'm serious. Is it, as you look at, you'll find that everything's a duality. Why is it in nobody's interest in this town to speak up and bring justice for these kids? Well, that's why I always admonish the locals. Mary Golf says, so the families are covering it up because extended family members are involved in the murders? It seems to be personal, the murders. Well, especially with Libby, I believe. Poor Libby. Okay. Hiawatha says, we can ask all the questions we want. Unfortunately, they'll never be answered. In my opinion, the girls will most likely never see justice. Pray to God for every day. Well, but I take exception to that because I believe in Occam's razor. I mentioned that last show, is that if you take Occam's razor and apply to this particular fictional narrative and this crime, everything becomes crystal clear. 1,000 different timelines, DNA belonging to an unknown, multiple phones pinging in the area during the time of the murders, not related to Allen, nothing returned from an unlawful search of his home car. They are trying a story, none of it is real. Nicholas McClellan trying to mansplain circumstantial evidence to the jury means nothing when there is more compelling unresolved physical evidence. Thank you very much, Keith, and welcome in. Welcome in. That's an interesting one. The mansplaining. Yeah, but you know what is interesting here is Baldwin has such a warm and genuine demeanor that all the mansplaining is going to do is turn off the jurors. So, yeah, what were the contents of the stomachs? Interesting that pancakes are some of the best friends of the family. Missing case files, missing interrogations, missing recordings, and missing footage all over the case. This duality has me dizzy and disillusioned with disarray, leaving me with a definite distraught, but never defeat. With definite distraught. That's a lot of D's. You're onomatopoeing me to death. Okay, today should be and could be the day, if only we would tell the truth. Prosecution and judge have bought time to delay tactics, try and get their ducks in order. They don't think they banked on having such a large audience. Exactly. Well, they're shitting their pants right now. I've said that to you. I guarantee you that right now, everyone on that side is absolutely shitting their pants because they know it's bad. All right. Karen Jones, thank you for the super sticker again. David Rogers says, thank you, Prof, for breaking this down like you always do. Yeah, and I apologize for the belabored speech. You know, I talk slow, I think slow, I sit slow, I do things slowly. It was that night. Hey, Gianna. Glad I caught most of this live. Thanks, Prof. Thank you, Gianna. Yes, they knew each other. Brad Holder and Sandifer spent the night on the night of the 12th. Well, oddly enough, if that's when the gathering was at Ron Logan's property and those girls were brought to that gathering in the midnight hour, you have to ask yourself, what really happened to those girls? Thank you, Prof. This has been needed. Truths that we all mustn't forget. God bless. God bless, Sunflower. I believe those girls were much more worldly than any 13-year-olds should be. True. They were basically adults. True. Yep. It's not looking too good. Girls staged twice, 2 deer, and a whole lot of doubles, a lot of Brads. Okay, let's see. You say yes, nobody. I miss what nobody said. What did nobody say? I don't know. But apparently nobody said something. You're saying, I just found that February 10th to 11th, full snow moon, plus it was a penumbral lunar eclipse and the green comet were all on the same day, and that's the day Liberty was killed. It was planned. It's very sad. Yes, it is. On top of everything, the Goldilocks phone. My heart's break for these girls. Can you imagine the betrayal? Libby, former boyfriend, was a Sandifer. I think he had a twin brother, but it's been a while. Is that correct? I don't know. That's why they hate who so much. I'm lost. Gianna, thank you. Let's see. Delphi reminds me of the old '90s series Twin Peaks. Yes, or the Twilight Zone. It's horrible. It's like a David Lynch. That's my opinion. It's like they've turned this. They basically they LARPed this entire double murder, double homicide into a David Lynch IRL LARPing real world scenario. It's the real life Mulholland Drive. Okay. That's what I'm saying. The Patty's best friends are named Pancakes. Okay. Andre says, hi, Prof and chat, listening while I'm busy in the kitchen. Would love to know about the hair in Abby's hands. Oh, let's get to that. Because I've already been gaslit about that hair. I'll tell you what the word on the street is that everyone's talking about. Let's see. That's right. No, but we're not doing no, it's been said. Okay. But I'll get to it. Okay. The prof, so you believe all the perps will be held accountable on this earth in a law? I think that only happens if there's a RICO in process. Sort of like that. Yeah, if law enforcement ever does their job, yes, they will be. If not, don't worry, they're going to hit it in the afterlife. All right. Jay Marsh says it makes more sense for the ceremony in the early hours of the 13th. That's what I'm saying. 213 on 213. 0213. All right. Yes, the Patty's best friends are the Pancakes. That's what I'm saying. Everything that's been inserted into the case is a piece of disinformation or misinformation to distract and make you think and confuse you. So the pancakes are banana pancakes because we're talking about pancakes. Now, what did I want to show you? So you want to know my opinion of the hair? Let me show you my opinion of the hair. Oh, let's get back to my opinion of the hair.
Moving a month later after the murders, but they did take his deer cam video, and Mullen told me they had deer cam video of the kids at his house on the 12th, and that they admitted they had gone there that night to the bridge to make meth and stayed through the night. And that's when Megan was asking, Mom, come and get me. She's out there. She said she was in like some little, she said she was like in some little shack. She was probably and I was guessing she was in the Mears little shack there by the trail.
I believe that you're looking at the pig roast, the gathering, the meth cooking party. I'm looking for her picture. Sorry about that. Let's see. I'm going to find it. It'll come up. Okay. You have to think. This girl said that she stabbed the girls to see what it would feel like. Do you not remember? We have a single female hair wrapped around the fingers of Abby. For me, it means only one of two options, one of two things here. Abby was struggling with the female, had a hair intertwined in the fingers in the struggle, it pulled out. Or the female was assisting in the moving of the body of Abby, the hair got tangled, it pulled out. Either way, I believe that the hair intertwined in Abby's fingers is someone like this. But who knows? There could be others with long hair. I don't think that the hair came out of the laundry. I don't think the hair flew out of a tree. I don't think that the hair was placed there by those doing the staging, although it could have been any of the above. So that's what I think of the hair. Someone obviously had to have something to do with those victims in order for a hair to be intertwined in the finger. So that's my opinion. I asked last stream that any of you would who are not subscribed to the backup channel would please go ahead and click this link, the Prof True Crime right here, and go subscribe to the backup channel. Please subscribe to the backup channel, the Prof True Crime. I put different material there on the community page. Also, just a heads up for you, when I make these videos that are very time consuming to make, I never make them lightly. Okay, so what do I mean by that? That I believe this video is very, very important that I just showed to you. And I didn't show it in its entirety here. So let me give you that video in the chat as well. Okay. That video there is the Megan Allen video. I highly recommend that you check it out. when I make these videos, I find that they are important to me. They may or may not be important to you, but I recommend them in case you've missed them. Okay, there's this one. And please allow me to show you the one I played for you at the introduction. Oh, let me grab it for you so I don't forget. This is Mr. Let's see. Jeez. Okay. It's this one here. I'm not going to play it. I'm just going to show you. Okay. This video here, please go to the Eye of Apophis channel and watch the video if you want it. It was important to show you that at the beginning to establish a little context. I'll put the link in the channel description, in the video description down below when the video uploads. Thank you very much for watching it. Thank you very much for being here and supporting the channel. Please do me a huge favor. And if you're on the replay, leave a comment down below, because unfortunately you missed the live stream. But if you've missed the live stream, you still have a chance to add your very valuable input to the platform and to this channel by doing so. So please do so. Please do so. I would appreciate all input, and I always find a lot of value in the comments in the comment section on the replays. So do that, and we will very much appreciate it. Thank you. It's a new day. Thank you very much. Very much. All right. Now, if you're in the replay, you can also hit our support pathways or leave a super sticker. So our support pathways are the Buy Me a Coffee, the PayPal, and all those other support pathways that are in the channel description. Please check that out if you want to support the channel. But anyway, I appreciate you all for your support today, for participating in the live chat and watching. And I hope that you got something out of it. And I can't wait to read your comments. Again, thank you very much. Thank you very much. We pray for Libby and Abby, and we pray for each other, because all of us together, we are what is experiencing each other is what life is all about. It makes life worth living. So it's just a joy to get to know all of you, to spend time with you, and to share moments with you like we do here. And that's why this chat is always so amazing and awesome. I love my community, and I love you all very much. I think you guys are solid. So thank you very much. Okay, have a great evening, everyone. Okay, thank you. Are you going on Silkies? I believe that I am. I have to speak with her again, though. True Crime Grit, thanks for sharing. Thank you. Amy, thank you for sharing. Jojo, thank you. Okay. All right, so if it wasn't excellent, we wouldn't see the trolls come in. Awesome. All right, have a good evening, Sandy. Thank you, Christine. Okay, thank you, Gianna. Let me thank everyone so we can get out. I'll say Margaret, thank you. Trish, thank you. Okay, Kay, thank you so much. Lisa, Amy, Digital, Jojo, Christine, Lisa, Gianna, Jay Marsh, Nancy Drew, It's a New Day, Mike, Amy, Tammy, Nancy Drew, Jay Marsh, Linda K. Johnson, thank you. Hey, Linda K. Commentator Root, Sunflower Soul, Kathy, Aaron Town, Lisa, ACV, thank you, ACV again. Armely, formerly known as SS. Monday. Nobody, nothing. Frenchie, 6290. Who else we got here? Sorry about my vision, guys. Andre, Hiawatha, Captain America, Criminal Network, Nobody, Nothing, Sherlock Romes, Fur Baby Daddy, Keith, Rebecca Ann, Okay, LL. All right. David Rogers. Don't know if I said your name yet, but David. Karen Jones. Nobody Nothing. Mary Goff. Okay. Crystal Blue. Carla Ann. Ashley Nudo. Lead with Love. All right, you guys. And if I missed you, JoJo, and if I missed you, please drop a comment really quickly so I can say your name because I've about gone as far as I can go. Rock Crusher. All right. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay, Mike. I already said Mike. And I'll leave it at that. Noe Amos. There he is. Noe Amos. All right. House Broken. Sorry. House Broken says thank you. Swade Smith. Thank you. Please replay. Greenlee. What's up, Greenlee? Okay. Dennis McKean. What's up? This is one of your best. Thank you, Dennis. I thought it would be one of my more important that I'll ever do. All right. So thank you guys for the amazing input here. And I'll join you in the chat for a few minutes. Again, what can I say? But thank you. God bless Libby and Abby. Okay. Good night.
So Tina Rodell, her daughter was out there. Megan was out there at the trail with Keegan Calais and Tyler French on the 12th into the 13th before the girls died. So a lot of people know this on Facebook. A lot of people in this case know that, Tina was talking to her daughter. Her daughter put out messages to her mom, help, come pick me up, help. Tina thought it was at 2 o'clock that afternoon, which was I said, Tina, it's 02:03. I said, that's in the wee hours of the morning. So I'm looking at your date on your phone. It's February 13th, 02:03. I said, that's in the morning. And then they come to find out. Then I talked to Steve Mullen. He called me. He wanted me to take Tina Rodell in because he said he talked to the 3 kids, Tyler, Keegan, and Megan. They were out there.
Why would he want you to take her in?
Because the three kids, I said, well, why didn't you talk to 3 kids? He said, we talked to them, but they were so drugged out of their gourd, they're of no help. But we think that, Megan's mom, Tina, could help us because Tina's sister, Christy Martin, was served time in prison. You can look her up, and that there was some connection with Ron Logan. Ron Logan was a farmer. He could get like anhydrous ammonia. And then Tina told me that her daughter ended up coming back on. So she sent me a picture right away of the white car in her driveway. It's all over Facebook. You guys can find it. So I talked to her about that. I'm like, who was this guy? He's like, I'm here to pick up something, and she was actually scared of him. And he went and he opened up his trunk and he was putting something in his trunk. He said he's here to pick something up. He picked something up, and then he took off. And she took a picture of his license plate, wrote it down on her hand, and was sending me all these pictures, as this was happening. And then cops did confirm the white car with the plates that they were the paper plate was traced back to Kokomo. And the kids, they talked to them. They said they were of no help at all. On the 15th, Megan showed up, and Tina told me she was gang raped. She could barely walk. And she was, whatever happens when you take meth, I don't know, she said like her skin had this, like she was so methed up that it was like coming out of her skin, rash or some weird kind of thing happening to her. And she was going to take her to the emergency room. And And Megan's like, no, don't take me. And then a couple days later, she disappeared, and she ended up getting a message. Didn't hear from Megan for a long time. Megan and her were fighting back and forth on Facebook, and somebody, I don't know if it was Keegan or somebody, said that she was sold. I said, what do you mean sold? Well, she was sold to another guy up north by Maryville, Gary area, and she was sold. They interviewed all three of the kids, is what they said. So then Steve Mullen knew that I was talking to Tina, so I was told that Steve Mullen wanted to talk to me, so he ended up calling me, and I said, and this is in 2017, and I said, why don't you just talk to the kids? And he said, I did, but they were so drugged up that they were of no help at all. So Tina Rodell, her daughter was out there, Megan was out there at the trail with Keegan Calais and Tyler French on the 12th into the 13th before the girls died. So a lot of people know this on Facebook. A lot of people in this case know that, Tina was talking to her daughter. Her daughter put out messages to her mom, help, come pick me up, help. Tina thought it was at 2 o'clock that afternoon, which was I said, Tina, it's 02:03. I said, that's in the wee hours of the morning. So I'm looking at your date on your phone, and it's February 13th, 02:03. I said, that's in the morning. And then they come to find out. Then I talked to Steve Mullen. He called me. He wanted me to take Tina Rodell in because he said he talked to the three kids, Tyler, Keegan, and Megan. They were out there. They were at Tyler French's stepdad's house, which was about a mile and a half down the road from the Beaumont High Bridge. Then he was renting a house down this long lane. It was weird because I drove down there one time and I was like just taking video. He ended up moving a month later after the murders, but they did take his deer cam video, and Mullen told me they had deer cam video of the kids at his house on the 12th, and that they had gone, they admitted they had gone there that night to the bridge to make meth and stayed through the night. And that's when Megan was asking, Mom, come and get me. She's out there. She said she was in like some little, she said she was like in some little shack. She was probably and I was guessing she was in the Mears little shack there by the trail.